they may. Yeah, don't put it on me.
This is
Chrissy,
the wrong.
YouTube's watching you.
Okay, so why is the camera wrong? Oh no.
Imagine he doesn't get the joke.
Here,
Okay,
create this clip for TikTok. I think you can actually post it this time.
we're live, but we're backwards. Might have to just turn it. Hold on a second.
Why?
Do you want me to
Is
start
it
talking about the
USB?
spell while you're moving the camera, or do you want?
It's so it is technically like using that. See, I don't know why it's not letting me.
What did it say? Hover over that again. What does it say?
Sorry guys, just give me a second. I'm trying to figure this out.
What is this?
It's on the screen share. If I end the stream and redo it. So look, when I was doing the details before, I wonder if it's gonna be the same link or if I have to relink it.
That would be.
Should I just turn this around? Is it gonna be just
I think
like
it's going to have
that
to be
this time?
higher, but turn around and see. I think you have to move that over there.
Okay, wrong. I can try to clink it, but I don't know why it's not like
Yeah,
because it's
definitely is a sucky
Do you want
camera.
to move the stool closer?
yeah, but so like this. No, that's not it.
Is there a zoom on the actual camera?
Yeah, there is, but I can't get the camera to go to YouTube.
I understand.
Oh wait, see, look, it's there. Like there's her feed.
Okay, so what happens when you go down to the bottom of that? Is this a touch screen?
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. That looks beautiful.
Yeah, but
It
it's
needs
not.
to stay like
It's
that.
not going to YouTube,
Yeah.
even though I told it to.
So then that's a problem with the setting on the YouTube, not the setting on the.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was scary. It's me.
Hello, people on the internet. Thank you for joining us. We're having some technical difficulties. We will be with you.
I mean, we can just use, and it's a new camera. Maybe it's not terrible.
I love this Aries.
Capri Sun rising.
All right. So do that. I will do this.
Mom.
Do you want me to move it closer? Here, you look at it from that side and tell me where to go.
Oh, wow.
All right. It's an angle.
We can change it.
Yeah,
I can
let's change
You
it.
want it to go up higher? Do
Yes.
we have? Hold on a second.
Envelope box.
What's in that box?
What?
Envelope box.
That's not gonna be high enough.
At least you got a monitor now. You can watch yourself.
Wait, no, you just have to close it.
Thank you. Appreciate the option.
I wish it wasn't so.
Yeah, we're just gonna hang out here. So we figure this out.
No.
Oh, it's gonna see my hand. The magical hand.
The magical hand of God.
It's magical hand of dragon's blood.
So funny.
How about this?
Hey, it's good to see you.
Will this work?
No.
That's good.
Just over there.
I'm not sure, but I need to be around that candle, but I don't want to go camera.
Okay, you got it. Do you need it higher?
Sideways.
Joy, can you look at it? You want to stay there?
I can't because of the tape on the wire.
Blankets.
Can
Check
you
that
go
view.
over there, Lauren?
Might be a little too high.
Yeah.
Too high, right?
No, actually, if I go like this, it's fine. Can you see?
Okay.
How does it look, Brian? Good. Megan, do you want a quick check? Quick check. Do you want a quick check? I'll get you one, or a Wawa if you prefer. Yeah, I think this
Can
is
you check
fine.
it?
Yeah?
I can't. I can't see.
Good.
No, that's not something.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Lorraine,
Yeah?
the tree on the altar.
What's that?
Or the little what you gave us earlier.
Oh, the citrine, you can put it on the altar if you like right now.
Whole
If you have a
dragon.
citrine in your hands, you can put it in the altar. Just remember where you put it.
I'm gonna walk around.
It's like people walking this way, I don't want to mess up the meeting.
Nice.
It reflexes
Good catch.
like a cat. It'll never happen again.
So Matching has a trip in. Sending the location.
No, it's good.
Yeah, just.
All right, so I think we're live now for our spell. Welcome, everybody. We've got a lot of people here, and we have a very honored guest. Well, she's really a lot connected to Lunar Fair, which I will introduce Dr. Witch in a minute. Oh, I just did. So welcome to our new moon lunar eclipse on the other side magic. We are literally on the other side of the very big eclipse that we had. We won't have anything like that again till 2044, I think, or 40. It's a 4, whatever it is. So we're really glad you're here, and we're gonna do some magic tonight. And so I'm excited about that. I hope you are too. I'm gonna say a couple things and then we're gonna get right into it. So if you read my very short Instagram post, it was also Dr. Witch's Instagram post, only 3 pages this time. There were some things that you were asked to do. And so what we're doing tonight is a form of magic. We are going to do warrior awakening magic using our astral bodies, which we're going to explain later. But that's something for you to be excited about. I hope you're excited. I'm excited. I can't wait to start this. So it's not really like a spell. Even though the eclipse is over, we rather do something that's not really like specifically about manifestation. So you were asked to have a mirror. That's like a must. A piece of paper and a pencil or a pen. I don't know why I'm partial to pencils, but I always say pencils. But maybe because it's Saturn. But the pen or pencil, you're going to just work on writing something. So while we're talking, you can start thinking about this. What do you want to be a warrior of? You don't have to write it down right now unless you really know. What type of warrior do you want to be? Because we're going to be working on that. And also, what will this energy create in your life? So, for example, I am a warrior of love. I manifest success in all my relationships, right? Something like that. That's what you want to work on while we're talking. And then optionally, you can also have a crystal that you can charge up tonight with that energy. And that's it. That's our prep. So now we can get right into it. And if you do have questions, you can interrupt and we will stop and answer your questions. But all of that information is on Instagram. So welcome to this is the final spell before we are live and in person on the 27th at Lunar Fair. So I'm really excited. And I'm really excited for my favorite person under the moon. Dr. Witch is here to co-lead this spell. So I'm really excited. Dr. Witch, would you like to say anything? I'll hop out of the way. I think we're both on camera. I really don't
we
know.
are. Did you guys miss me?
Yeah.
Because I missed the fuck out of you. So I'm very excited to finally get back into the real movement of this year. This new moon really provides that new start. I don't know if anybody else felt that earthquake. That was really just about Lunar Fair's gates opening. So I hope you guys are prepared. It's a new season. We're bringing new magic. We're bringing really a lot of love, a lot of life, and a lot of different ways to touch the community that we're in, and more community that we want to draw in. So I'm always honored here to hold the space for you guys, and also for those who are in front of us, and to be able to co-lead with you, because magic is life, and what is community? It's everything. So thank you for letting me be here.
Thank you, Dr. Witch, aka Megan. So we're really excited about actually kicking off the season in a way, because a lot of astrologists will either believe that the equinox, which we did a celebration then, is the beginning of the year, but a lot of people say it's really according to the moon. So it's really the first new moon of spring that's considered to be the new year. So we're kicking it off here with an eclipse. So that's pretty phenomenal energy. It's challenging energy. It's a lot of things. And so I want to just talk a little bit about some of the themes that you might have been experiencing starting with the previous eclipse that we had, that lunar eclipse on the 23rd, which, by the way, we did not meet on that day. And I realize now it's even better reason than I originally thought. But I won't get into that. But maybe you'll agree. Maybe you had a pickle of a day on September 23rd. I know I did. Oh, Dr. Witch agrees. So
Yes,
we
I
had
was
a double.
dying.
It was a double pickle day of dying. But we are back, back from the dead to discuss the new moon. So anyway, lunar eclipse usually is some kind of a death or an ending. So, you know, the 23rd was really a lot about endings. It's really not the greatest time to do a manifestation spell. And the solar eclipse is still ending, but it's also about beginnings. So there are indigenous tribes that believed literally the sun, which nurtures and nourishes all of us, dies and is reborn on that day. So it's kind of like a funeral and a celebration of birth all at once. Well, not simultaneously, but one after the other. And it's funny because I was listening to music on my way here, and there were all these like lunar, deep songs, some really powerful songs. And then here comes the sun as soon as we shifted out of the peak of the eclipse. And now this is like a reset. So now we're in the sun has been reset. The energy has been reset. We are starting anew. And that's why that warrior energy is so important, deciding like, how are you going to step in? How are you going to step in to this season and to this year? And soon you're going to be stepping into outdoor lunar fair. Sorry, I can't resist.
I'm so
excited.
I am ridiculously
I've been an
excited.
actual hermit this year.
Yeah, right. So we're stepping out of our hermitude and the cold weather into the spring and the great, beautiful weather that will occur on the 27th.
Yes.
So this is magic tonight. It's not a spell per se. So magic is a process of transforming and transmuting, and we're going to begin a process tonight. Just like there's a reset, we are resetting too for the season and for the year. So I want to talk about a couple themes, and Dr. Rich is going to talk about them as well. I want to start by talking about we got to bring the moon into the conversation. You know, it's a new moon. So whenever there's a new moon, you know, that's more solar because the sun and the moon are of equal power, except when it's an eclipse. And then the moon hops in front of the sun. I loved that Instagram post on the lunar fair page. But literally the moon, smaller than the sun, somehow manages to eclipse the sun. Okay, but we are dealing with lunar nodes. And so lunar nodes are things to pay attention to because they are very connected to big themes that are going to be going on for about a 2-year time period. So Lunar Fair began with a bang, with an eclipse. And we were also in the lunar nodes of Taurus and Scorpio, which, by the way, are very connected to the lunar chicks who, you know, hold those energies. So we moved into a new nodal pattern in July. And so basically there's North Node and South Node. So the North Node is where we want to go. It's kind of like our direction that we're heading in. And the South Node is where we're coming from and what we need to let go of. So last cycle was the North was in Taurus and the South was in Scorpio. But we didn't let go of any of the Scorpios. But we just, no, they're still here. But what we mean is those distortions of energy. We want to try to create something new by letting go of the old. So here we are. It's been a while since we've been in these nodes. I believe the last cycle was 2005 and 2006. So we started a new cycle in July 2023 of Aries and Libra. And so Aries is where we're going, and Libra, no offense to the Libras, but we're running from you. Kidding. We're just letting go of Libra-related shadows and distortions. So on top of that, so the North is focused on Aries. And by the way, we're new moon in Aries, so this is powerful. Aries is very much about the personal will. And it is a warrior energy. We're going to talk about that in a little while. But it's really about finding yourself as an individual, even though we've got Pluto in Aquarius, which is like a big overseeing energy that we're working with right now. And Aquarius is very much about the collective, but there's got to be a way that we can be who we are in the collective and contribute to the collective as a strong, powerful individual. So self-care, self-love, and a warrior of whatever it is you wish to achieve using your will, because that's really what defines us, is our will. The stronger the will, the more powerful our flame and life force is. So that's really what we're working on, is that flame. And actually, it's funny because I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but the last time that Dr. Witch and I were together, we were doing a dragon flame spell, and it happened to be, I believe it was when the full moon was in Aries.
Yep.
So we're continuing that flame. We're continuing that energy. Now the South Node is in Libra. And so we are leaving, Libra is very much about relationships, harmony, how we flow in relationships. So obviously we don't want to leave that part behind, but the parts that have to do with Libra, that have to do with indecisiveness, being overly attached to how we are perceived from the external world, codependent type of situations, where we're very dependent on what is external to define the structures of support in our life and how we go about our daily communications with others. This is what we are letting go of, those distortions, so we can be the warrior in our full power, And the archetype of Aries is the Emperor, which is kind of funny because we're talking about the warrior, but the tarot card is the Emperor, and the Emperor sits in a place of balance and power, right? And actually Emperor is like the word empower, right? And so that doesn't mean that the Emperor is trying to overcome others. The Emperor is sitting in their own power. We all have the ability, to sit in balance in our life when we are in our full power. So that's really a lot to do with what Aries can show us. Now, Aries is showing us more than one thing, because we have, right now, we actually have what's called a cazimi. This isn't conjunct. Conjunct is when angles are close. A cazimi is when they're at the exact angle. So right now, we have the new moon in Aries in exact positioning with Chiron. And Chiron is also in Aries. And Chiron is the wounded healer. So not only are we working on building our personal power to be that warrior, but we are also addressing the wounding we have around self-expression and being who we are. And, when we take it out further, we're going to talk about that with warrior, I'm sure. When we take it out further, we are also not only, because the story of Chiron, I'm not going to go into the whole thing. Okay, but one of the things that Chiron did was he helped Icarus, because Chiron was actually a satyr. Satyr? I don't know. I always forget the pronunciation. But anyway, he was a beautiful human looking being, but he wasn't. He was non-human. And he wound up being injured as a punishment, and he had to deal with his pain every single day. It was like a thorn in his side. And through that pain, his pain became his medicine. Through that challenge, he became empowered to be a healer and help other people. And one of the things that he did was, by the way, Aries element is fire. So there was another deity named Icarus. And Icarus found fire. Icarus really wanted to give fire to humans. We can say that fire represents awakening. And Icarus wanted us to wake up, right? So Icarus stole fire for humans, and Zeus was not happy. So as punishment, this is quite a punishment, by the way. I don't even know how they came up with this one. But as punishment, Icarus had to sit chained, and every time, the sun would do a rotation, Icarus's liver would be eaten up, right? And then the liver would regrow, and then it would be eaten again and again. I think it was a liver, maybe it was a kidney. I'm not sure. But anyway, on a daily basis, this would happen. And Zeus was then going to banish him to the stars when, you know, the punishment was over. And actually, Chiron said, no, don't banish him, banish me. I'll go to the stars. I'll be part of the star formation. And that's quite a beautiful thing. So it's not just about being and you know, in our power, but being so empowered that we can be a part of the world and the community and help others, and sometimes stand up when others are not able to stand for themselves. So this is what we're working on this season. But of course, it starts with us. So some timelines for the themes that we're working on. 2005, 2006, if you're old enough. That was the last time that the nodes were in this exact place. So if you can think back to 2005, 2006, you might remember what were some of the things you were learning about yourself and how you related to different parts of your life. Because it doesn't necessarily mean people. It could be your relationship with finances or career, right? Now, some of you weren't even a blink in somebody's eye yet. But if you can go back that far.
I graduated high school in 666.
Oh,
You definitely
666
know.
graduation for Dr. Rich. So there was a graduation that went on,
Yes.
right? So it's like maybe there's some graduation that's going to go on again.
It feels like it. It's better.
So I shared a little bit in the Patreon article about my experience during that time. So I won't get back into it, but today, for me, everything has come together in a magnificent way. So I hope it does for you too, because a lot of these carryovers are making sense right now. 2017 was the last eclipse in Aries, right? And if you remember 2017, that wasn't as long ago. Where were you during that eclipse? What was going on in your life during that eclipse? I remember I was in Canada. I was really tired driving home. I wasn't even going to watch the eclipse, but I figured, what the heck? And I pulled over at a rest stop and watched the eclipse. I don't know if I had glasses. I don't think I did. But you know what? I live to tell the tale. Maybe I didn't look directly, but a lot of the themes going on in my life were definitely endings and beginnings. But see, it's not all going to happen today. So there were a lot of predictions that went on over the past few days and few weeks. I mean, even you know, places that you typically wouldn't find predictions that were, you know, prophetic type of information. You were hearing all of that. Understand that seeds are planted today. What we talk about with timelines, things are opening today that will be a continuous cycle for you. And some things are going to end for you and some things are going to begin. Some of you are just going to work on endings. Some of you just beginnings. Now, I will say this. The more you're willing to let go, the better things are going to go. But even if you hold on, you're going to learn a lesson from that too. Right? You'll learn. I don't mean that as a threat. You'll learn.
And a threat. It's a promise and a threat.
So you know, we started a full moon. Fast forward, July 2023, the nodals started. We had a I believe that was when we were in Libra, but I honestly am not thinking clearly now. Just look at the Patreon article. And then 6 months ago, we had the full moon in Aries. And now we are going ahead to plant a seed that's going to go out for the whole year, because this is the first new moon of the new year, but it's also going to go out to the full moon. You might notice things happening between now and when we come into the full moon. You might notice 6 months when we go from this new moon to the full moon, we'll be at Lunar Fair somewhere. We don't know about which location we'll be at, that one, but I hope you join us. It'll be like a reunion. And then, of course, next year will be the full cycle. Next spring, we will have cycled through something. And if you want to go even further, which we can go out 19 years. And that's when the nodes will return to Aries and Libra. And then the final, really far ahead, some of us will be here, some of us won't. We have 2044. And that's when we're going to have the next eclipse like this. So this is a lot going on. This is a lot going on. Now, over the next few days, you'd think this big planetary event will be the only thing. Over the next 7 days, we've got major stuff happening and lining up. So this is, we're gathered to make really big transformations, and we're going to have the support and the challenge of the planets with us over the next week, especially. So, for example, Saturn and Venus are going to conjunct together. It's kind of a weird thing because Saturn is considered to be very restrictive, and Venus is all about love and flow. Well, it can be a warrior too, because our Venus right now, I believe, is in a place like possibly Aries. Yeah. So here's the thing. When Saturn and Venus come together, we learn lessons about Venus and relationships and love, money, sensuality, all the things we associate with Venus. So whatever we're starting today and whatever started before, we might get some lesson. Oh, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because remember, these planets are only trying to help us evolve. And so actually, the more you step into, that's why we're doing this warrior magic, because the more you step into that warrior energy, the more you're going to move through these things and face the challenge with joy. Now, joy is not happy. Joy is authenticity and reality, and knowing this is something I must do to get to my next level. Because, by the way, when it comes to that affirmation or whatever you want to call that you're going to be writing out, you want to write something that you're willing to fight for. And Dr. Witch will talk about that. Now, next week, we're going to have a softer thing happening. So there's going to be Jupiter is going to be conjunct with a planet that it only happens like every 29 years. And so this is a time where you can manifest. Big gates of energy have opened up. So next week is going to be a time for softening, manifestation, and we are going to work on that process so that when we come into that new energy, we're fully prepared to work with it successfully. So tonight is Warrior Magic. And I'm so honored that I have such an alchemist and a warrior next to me today and for Lunar Fair Cycles.
Yeah.
So Dr. Witch, would you like to talk about the warrior archetype?
Absolutely.
Switch spots.
Thank you. Oh, it's so awkward to be in front of a camera. I'd much rather be outside in the field with you guys yelling at you.
We've got the door open though.
Walking in a circle. So, what is a warrior? And, I sat with this for a while because for me, whenever I think about what I'm doing, I do feel like I am a warrior. But the biggest thing that came through when I was working with these questions and getting into this energy, because today I definitely was meditating through the eclipse and just really feeling like, what is this energy that's coming for us? What's this energy that's coming to support us? And I came, down to the definition of like, a warrior is not a soldier, right? A soldier is someone who goes out and takes directives and does not ask questions. A warrior is the one that fills up their will and is able to control both their mind and their heart, but most importantly, their soul. They understand what it means in order to work with a team, but also to be able to go solo. A warrior also knows when it's right to question the integrity of whatever operation or whatever community that they are a part of. A warrior understands that they themselves matter, but they are a bigger piece of the whole. So to me, that is what a warrior is. So when I call myself, a warrior of justice, I mean it with my entire being. They also know how to lead and also when to follow. They can be brave and courageous enough to go it alone, but also strong enough to ask for assistance. That is the biggest thing that I always talk about is community. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Because community helps you build everything. And community is not just these amazing people in front of me. And community is not just those who are watching this today. But community is our world. Everyone deserves to have a warrior backing them up. Whether it be a warrior for your voice or for your light when you can't handle it or hold it anymore. The warrior within is asking to be fully activated through these times that we are going through. And it's not like this is something new. This is something that's been going on for quite some time. I remember when I was really getting heavily into my practice. I dedicated myself over 10 years ago to Hecate, contractually obligated to mention her name. But about 5 years ago, I really felt that resurgence of the dark goddess and of the goddess energy. And just because it's the feminine doesn't mean it's not a warrior. Have you met most of us? We are warriors, and we hold that light and that fire. And it's all about divine will, like a Lunar Queen was saying before. Your will is tied to your voice, and your voice is tied to your expression. If you cannot hold your will, you cannot express. So while we're going through this, we are going to activate those things within us. And even though society is telling us to be silent about this, there's more to be said. And I'll get back to that when you bring me back here, because I'm getting fired up.
Yay! We like it when Dr. Rich gets fired. So I do want to say something about Venus, because Libra is Venus, and we're working a lot with Mars, but Venus doesn't cease to exist when we work with Mars. And the other side of Venus she was also a warrior goddess, and a lot of times that's forgotten. So I'm glad that Dr. Witch brought that up, because there is this. Like Ishtar, for example, was a Venusian goddess. Mm-hmm. She was pretty fierce, just a little, if you're familiar with her. But even if you're not, know that, that energy, that will exists, not external to us, but it's always within us. And part of the theme and the lesson is for us to really embody and integrate these different energies. And that's what we're working on. And, we are works in progress. But just like Chiron, we can have our challenges and discomfort. And rather than being ashamed of that, we can work with those wounds to become bigger than that and continue helping ourselves, taking care of ourselves, doing that self-care without shame. And at the same time, flowing that out when we're ready. But I think we're all pretty ready to do that for others as well as leaders in the world. And so that was quite beautiful what Dr. Witch was mentioning before. So tonight we're going to work with mirror magic. So I hope you all have a little mirror, or maybe a big mirror if you're home. I guess size doesn't matter when it comes to mirrors. Anyway, I digress. We were so serious I had to. Anyways, back to the mirror. We're going to be, a mirror is like a portal. Just like we have a portal open right now, a mirror is like a portal of energy. And when we connect with it, we are connecting with the part of us that travels in the dream time. We are connecting with the astral part of who we are. And that body is something we strengthen. The stronger our will becomes, the more we're defined by purpose. Purpose literally defines us. And your purpose doesn't have to be what you're going to do 10 years from now. It's what you need to do in the moment. And, sometimes it's really good to put blinders on and just be in the moment, because when you're in the moment, then you see in every direction anyway. So we're going to do mirror magic. And this mirror magic is going to actually create a new form for each of us to start working with as we consistently work with the form. It will start to change. Because you cannot look at yourself without changing. That's what mirror magic teaches us. The first mirror was a body of water, right? But when we work with the mirror, we change. So I want to bring you back to the question, what to be a warrior for? That's up to you. That's going to be very connected to what you're going to say into the mirror, because you want to come up with a sentence. It can be as long or as short as you want, but I recommend the simpler, the better. What are you going to be a warrior for this year? And what will it create in your life? And what's going to happen is, as you do this consistently, it's going to start to internalize. you're going to start to notice changes to your life. So what's on the other side of the mirror, and I do not recommend more than 10 minutes a day. Ask me privately if you want to know. But no more than, you don't really only need to do it for 2 minutes, honestly. Every day, you're going to start this, and every day that you remember, if you forget, the mirror is not going to crack or anything like that. But every day you're going to start this. Starting today, I am a warrior of, and then whatever it is, create success, whatever areas of your life. It's going to be your mantra. I shouldn't say mantra. It's going to be your affirmation to your astral body of what you want. You're programming your astral body. So what happens is you will change. You will shift. You'll be amazed at how you change. So we're doing some big magic today. And so Dr. Witch is going to help us prepare for this. She's going to help us prepare our energies and get ready. So let's get that started.
Sounds good to me. So if you would like to fully participate in this, I do ask that you stand. But if you need to sit, you absolutely can. But before I say that, I'm going to connect and probably touch some things that feel raw, that may inspire you to be like, oh yeah, no, I am ready to go to war. Oh yeah, I am ready to stand up. Oh yeah, I am ready to carry my flame and ignite those who might be dim right now. You know, a warrior does not just do battle on a field, with just a sword, axe, or bow, but we also do it with our thoughts, actions, and deeds. The warrior within is asking to be fully activated and applied during these times. If anybody has 2 eyes and a consciousness, you can see our world is on fire. So we need warriors to stand up in different ways. And even though our society is telling us to be silent about everything, we are at war. War against autonomy, war against freedom, war against sovereignty, war against our innate light and what it means to ignite change. Our freedoms are at stake here. Lives are at stake here. So it's not the time to be silent. It's not the time to say, well, it'll pass. No, it will not pass. It hasn't passed. So Aries brings that Mars energy and the divine masculine in all of his traits, good, bad, and otherwise. This energy is asking you, where are you not leading yourself? Where are you not taking control of how you show up and create your own world? It also asks, where are you dominating too much? Is your control turning into manipulation and suffocating your surroundings? Taking a moment to connect to that. Aries is also connected to our will and our divine spark, and that lives within all of us. It's also connected to the pineal gland, which is also connected to our authentic truth and our clarity of sight. When we let too much of our outer influences mark us, dim us, and steer us, our truth is buried and our flame is lost. So tonight we will call upon our inner warrior, bring them to the surface, and allow them to take their rightful place so that we are leading our lives connected to above and below, so that we can create the crucial change that we need in our world right now. So, the way that we call upon the warrior, I'm getting all excited now. The way that we call upon the warrior, I needed to shift the energy, guys. I'm sorry. I know it got like kind of intense. So the way that we activate, or the way that I activate the warrior, is through movement and sound. So the way that I connect to that is it's connected to your kundalini. Your kundalini rests within your sacral. So that's by your reproductive organs, and it rises, right? So the way that I do that is I do movement. So y'all are gonna move. You excited? Woo! I'm gonna keep it real simple. I had a whole thing. I did. I'm not gonna lie. But the biggest thing also, while we walk through these times, we got to remember that we're not alone, right? Because sometimes we can feel like we are alone, even if there might be people in the room with us. Our ancestors, for our highest good, the blood and bone that have gone before, are here with us. So it's also important to call upon them as well. So that's the first part of this activation. Is real simple. Just follow me. Clap, clap, stomp. All right, we're going to try and do it together. On 3. Patreon, you ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Clap, clap, stomp. Clap, clap, stomp. Keep on. We call to flow of blood and bone to surround us for our highest good as we stomp the beat that you have gone before. And you're going to repeat after me. The divine warrior I am.
The divine warrior I am.
In my power I do stand.
In my power I do stand.
Armored and ready in my light.
Armored and ready in my light.
Call my will forward for the fight.
All my will forward for the fight.
You guys are doing amazing. How about we just do this chant? Yeah. Round of applause. You guys are real well. You guys are
He's like, pat your head and rub your
Yeah,
stomach.
there's a lot of Irish ancestors here right now. And we're like, what are we doing? Where are we going? All right, let's try that again. It wouldn't be Dr. Witch Magic if we didn't have a little laugh, right? I feel like we definitely woke up some shit. So we're good. Doing well, guys. All right. So usually this is where I go around circles. So just keep the movement come from your heart. And as you say your words, move it around this circle. Okay? That way we can keep the movement going. And repeat after me. The divine warrior I am.
The divine warrior I am.
In my power I do stand.
In my power I do stand.
Armored and ready in my light.
Armored and ready in my light.
Call my will forward for the fight.
Call my will forward for the fight.
I will not bend, I will not break.
I will not bend, I will not break.
My rightful place I do take.
My rightful place I do take.
The divine warrior I am.
The divine warrior I am.
In my power I do stand.
In my power I do stand.
Armored and ready in my light.
Armored and ready in my light.
Call my will forward for the fight.
Call my will forward for the fight.
I will not bend, I will not break.
I will not bend, I will not break.
My rightful place I do take.
My rightful place I do
The
take.
divine warrior I am.
The divine warrior I am.
In my power I do stand.
In my power I do stand.
Armored and ready in my light.
Armored and ready in my light.
Call my will forward for the fight.
Call my will forward for the fight.
I will not bend, I will not break.
I will not bend, I will not break.
My rightful place I do take.
My rightful place I do take.
The divine warrior I am.
The divine warrior I
The
am.
divine warrior I am.
The divine warrior I
The
am.
divine warrior I am.
The divine warrior I am.
So mote it be.
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 So we're gonna take a nice deep breath from the bottom of our feet. And we're gonna bring that up right into our chest. Hold that for 4, 3, 2, 1. Out through your hands. And you're gonna feel probably dizzy. And we're gonna take another deep breath in from the bottom of our feet. Bringing that red energy up and out through our hands. Feeling that around us, surrounding us, protecting us, guiding us, directing us. And one more beautiful breath from the bottom of our feet. Calling on that blood and bone that has been before. And exhale. And your warrior is present. Thank you.
And now holding this energy, flowing this energy, you're going to take your mirror, and you're going to take your mirror out. And if you have a crystal, you can put it in your pocket or somewhere close by if you need the words to your new affirmation in front of you. If you need it on paper, great. But if you don't need paper, in the other hand, you can hold your crystal. Please, everybody take their. Do you need any for your plants? Yeah. Do you have your stones? Does anybody need citrine? Does anybody need a crystal? It's right here waiting for you. Sorry. So you're going to hold the crystal in your receptive hand. It's going to be in your left hand. You're going to hold the mirror in your right hand. You're going to just stand in your power, connecting to your warrior energy. And now I want you to look into the mirror. And just see yourself. The warrior is already activated. See that warrior energy activated. And now you're going to affirm the warrior that you are. You're going to say it out loud and with power into the mirror. We're each going to have a different word, and that's okay. I am a warrior of.
I am a warrior of.
State the word. Love. Now again. I am a warrior of.
I am a warrior of
Justice.
Make sure you're looking into the mirror. Say it again. I am a warrior of strength. And now you're going to say the other part of your mantra. I create, say whatever it is that I create success.
I create my destiny and greater goods. All day, for the greatest and highest good of all, for my purpose on this planet.
And now I want you to look into the mirror, and if you need to keep saying those words until they feel like they're inside of you, go ahead, you can repeat, or you can just see that energy activating in the mirror in your astral body. And when you feel like it's clicked, you're going to be doing this every day until it fully clicks. But if you feel complete, you can put your mirror down. And the crystal that you're holding is also holding this energy. You can take the crystal wherever you need. If you don't have a crystal, it's okay. The mirror is fine. But you can keep it on your person or somewhere special for you to remember. Whenever you look or feel this energy that you are a warrior. Now, connect, stay in the energy. And I want you to just say, so mote it be.
So mote it be.
And now as you stand in this power, as a warrior, you may notice, if you close your eyes, that you've changed form. You may also be aware, and it's okay if you're not. Some of you may be aware of the areas and places in the world where you need to be a warrior within your community, family, places where there are cracks that need to be repaired, and that your warrior is perfect to help with that. So whatever you asked for yourself, you can share that as a warrior with others. And if it's appropriate, you can right now imagine the energy that you're holding going out to places, people, wherever it is meant to go. Including your home. Filling it with that warrior energy, that protection.
And as you connect to this energy, maybe thinking about these certain places that our year has in front of us to make sure that the path is paved correctly so that we can shift and change this energy in a way that will provide safety, independence, and freedom for all of us. And taking a moment to see that energy go out. And whatever we put out, we always get back. So the more that you put into it, the more you will receive. And with this connection, we start to take a nice deep breath from the top of our head. And hold it and exhale down to the body, into the earth, grounding that purpose, that intention. And taking another beautiful deep breath in from the top of our heads. And exhaling down through the body, feeling it go through our feet, feeling that activation of the blood and bone below and above the goddess and the god rain helping us. And take one more beautiful breath from the top of your head. And exhale down through the body. Bring yourself back into this present time, this present space, and feeling yourself here. The biggest thing, every time we do magic, every time we're in circle together, every time you're over the internet with us, it's so imperative to make sure that you doesn't just stay here, that you take this flame out into your community, out into your family, and that you make sure that you're able to inspire, love, support others, and to not turn away when fear might come or uncomfortable things may come. This is where the warrior truly shines. And as you shine that light, you don't know who else you will turn on. So speak, show up, stand up, and speak up. Because in a lot of different ways, silence can mean death. So please, make sure that you hold your flame so incredibly sacred so that you can empower others to do the same.
Our magic for tonight is complete, and it also has just begun. So may we all fight the good fight, whatever that is, for each of us. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Bye, guys.